All right, Darksiders. So I figured I would come on and we can talk some Star Trek Discovery theories. There's been a lot of theories swirling around, so I've got some things that I learned that I'm really interested to put before you because I'm dying to know what you think about some of these things. And some of the theories, I was like, oh, shoot. That makes a lot of sense. So we're going to get into just a few theories. I hope this video will be short because honestly, I'm starving. So I got to get something to eat and I got to call my fiance. I can't get me in trouble. Don't get me in trouble. So I got to call her before she goes to work. So here's the deal, you guys. If you're new here, please make sure that you hit that subscribe button and then hit the notification bell. We are covering this series heavily. So having said that, you guys, let's get into the theories. Don't forget to check out my video for Thor Ragnarok. Guys, I know you might be here for Star Trek, but I'm going to put that video up at the end of this video. Check out the video for Thor Ragnarok because it's amazing and the hype is real if you haven't seen it. All right, so theories about Star Trek. So one of the biggest theories, you guys, and even some of you have put it in the comments, and I've heard it before, is the theory that Lieutenant Ashe Tyler is a Klingon. And initially I was like, no, he's not a Klingon. The reason that he was on the prison ship, it was just a mechanism to get him to the Discovery so that he could join the cast of the Discovery. Come on, man. The dude is not a Klingon. But I don't know, I don't know. So I'm going to read something to you here that was on Digital Spy. And you guys make up your own conclusions, but I'm telling you, this is pretty compelling. Check this out. All right. Okay, so hopefully my reading, you know what? Got the glasses up because I can barely see that. That's how I look with my glasses on. All right, so check this out, you guys. So this is what it says. Fans of Star Trek will probably agree that lots of characters aboard this ship are hiding something. It's a dark ride. We all know that. Now a Discovery actor may have unveiled one such secret, confirming a huge fan theory. Check this out. Listen. All right. The theory, which started out on Reddit, suggests that the human character Ashe Tyler isn't really human at all, but actually a Klingon in disguise. Not just any Klingon, the one named Valk, who is officially played by the otherwise unheard of actor Javed Iqbal, I believe is how you pronounce that name. This may not be a case of an unknown actor getting their big break, though. Ashe, who's played by Shazad Latif, I believe is how you pronounce his name, made his debut in the series during episode 5, but is also, check this out, is also listed on IMDb for episodes 1 to 4 with the qualifications credit only. It gets better. Add to that the fact that not only did Latif originally sign up to play the role of a Klingon, but his character Ashe was holed up in a Klingon prison before rescue. You see where we're going with this. Yeah, we see where you're going with this. You're trying to say that Ashe might be a Klingon. All right, so here's the part that makes you go, So check this out. If you're not convinced yet, then read Latif's response when asked by Digital Spy what made him sign up for the job. Here we go. We have 15 hours to explore these characters. I haven't done a job where I've done 15 hours of TV. It is an incredible amount of work that we've done over 10 months that really excited me. But I didn't get to choose. I just auditioned and they chose me. It wasn't me going, you know what, I'll do Star Trek. If Latif really did begin his Discovery run on episode 5 of 15, he wouldn't have done 15 hours of TV, right? Those extra 4 episodes would certainly help, though. What are we saying? Blah, blah, I can't read, and I got a master's degree. Yeah. All right. What are we saying? You might want to keep a beady eye on Ashe from now on. I don't know, man. That makes a whole bunch of sense. If he's saying that he's done 15 hours of time, it does make sense because it's not 15 hours of time with him coming in on episode, what was it, episode 4 or 5? Episode 5. I don't know, man. So Ashe might actually be a Klingon, and that might be a big tell with what we just read from Digital Spy. So maybe you guys are right. What do you think about that? I still feel kind of up in the air. I mean, to me, that would be a big twist, especially now as they're really starting to connect his character and Burnham's character, and we've got that love interest going on. I mean, how would that throw a monkey wrench in things if we found out that it was actually Valk who is Ashe? And what if we found out that Valk is not even playing a role, like he's really falling in love with Burnham? What would that do to the storyline? Some people are going to hate that. I know it. I know some people would hate that. And then we would get on the whole bashing the Star Trek Discovery thing again. I just think that's interesting. So I don't know, man. Now I'm like surfing, right? I'm a little bit like, this makes sense to me. So I'm a little bit kind of still like, nah, he's not a Klingon. But then I'm kind of leaning towards it. And then some of the dialogue that went on between him and Saru at the end of episode 8, I don't know, man. I got my eye on you, Ashe. We don't need these anymore until I have to read again. So that's one theory. So what do you guys think about that and what we just read in relationship to Ashe actually being a Klingon? That's theory number one. This next one, you guys, really took me for a loop. I'm going to switch because I have tabs up over here. Glasses back on. All right. So this next one I thought was pretty interesting. And that is the idea, which I really like if this is the case, that Stamets could actually be turning into the Traveler from TNG. Now, I did a poll, you guys, on Twitter, which was not a whole bunch of people didn't sign up for, but it was interesting because one of the things what I did is I asked them, what characters would you like to see in Star Trek Discovery from some of the other series that you had, and the Traveler was one of those options. I had Q, the Traveler, Guinan, and someone else, I can't remember who it was. So it's interesting though, right? Because like I could see Stamets actually be turning into the Traveler. That to me makes some sense. Now, if you guys have problems with that theory, please let me know why that doesn't work for you. But I certainly could see it. And it makes sense now that in episode 8, when he calls Tilly Captain, if he is turning into the Traveler, and if he is in fact moving back and forth throughout time, but not necessarily recognizing what's going on yet, that makes sense. I would love to see that. I would love to see Stamets turning into someone like the Traveler. And let me tell you why else this makes sense, why I like this theory. It also makes sense because they're not going to be able to sustain him as the source to run the drive. They're just not. He's not going to be able to run the spore drive consistently. No human is. So this would be the perfect way for them to introduce the Traveler into Star Trek Discovery. And he could work in Star Trek Discovery because of the type of character that he is. That's a theory that I'm really interested in. Like, I would love to see, if that pans out that way, kind of how they play that whole thing out. So that's one theory. This next theory is a little bit iffy, you guys, and it centers around Captain Georgiou and whether or not she's still alive. There are some people that are thinking that she is still alive, and one theory is that she's still alive and she could be alive in the mirror universe. Another theory is that she's still alive and we'll just kind of see her through different mechanisms that we've seen before, like when she communicates with Barnum through the hologram or things like that. I will be honest with you. I like Michelle Yeoh, and I really would like to see her in this series. I thought it was a little bit of a waste that she gets like 2 episodes and then she's gone. I just like her too much as an actor, excuse me, you guys, to see her that way. So I don't care how they do it. Wow, man, excuse me. So I don't care how they do it, but I would like to see her again. I was a little salty that you guys took my girl Michelle out 2nd episode. That wasn't cool. I like Michelle. So those are some theories, you guys, that I wanted to discuss with you that I thought was pretty interesting. The one about the Traveler I really think is interesting. So you know what? I will say this, guys. Think about this, though. There are some things that really Star Trek Discovery could be doing to really take us for some loops and bring in some other kind of iconic characters or some characters that we recognize from other series. I, for one, would like to see the Traveler in this series and kind of embed it in this series, because he was one of the more obscure characters that I actually found pretty interesting and that I would like to know more about. And what I think is cool about that is he actually could connect some of the other series should they decide to go that route later on, and kind of doing some jumping around through time to connect us with some of the other series. I think that that would be interesting. Some people might not like that, but I think that that would be interesting. So here's the final thing. I wasn't going to mention this, but I do think that this is kind of interesting as well. It's not really a theory, but it's something that maybe folks are saying that we might see, and that is that we might see actually a face-to-face between Spock and Burnham. Because at this current time, Spock is around. He's on the Enterprise with Captain Pike, and I'm not sure what the age difference is between those two. But it would be cool to see a face-to-face between those two. I would love to see that meeting. So that's something that we speculate, or people are speculating that we might see in a couple of seasons, and if not for a prolonged period of time, at some point in time. I think that would actually be cool. One last thing I actually want to leave you with, and I wasn't going to mention this, but I just thought about it. So it'll be interesting to see now, too, because I do think that part of the big problem that people are having with Star Trek Discovery is they don't like kind of... oh man, I don't even know a word to use. I was thinking about viscosity, but I'm not sure if that's right. But I like the way it sounds for the context of what I'm about to explain to you. So they kind of don't like the viscosity or the volatility of, I guess, the war that's going on between the war that's going on between the Klingons. They don't like the impact of that on the Star Trek canon. And that's the biggest argument I've heard, is that this show just doesn't seem hopeful. It just doesn't seem like Star Trek. It doesn't seem exploratory. It doesn't seem like what's out there. So I do think, though, eventually, of course, this war with the Klingons will wane. I think that really it is just a setup point to do some other things within the series. I don't see them having a war with the Klingon this whole series, with the Klingons this whole series. That doesn't make any sense. Like that's not going to carry enough interest to have people continue, especially to pay. If most people, like I am, I'm paying really just to see Star Trek. I'm not really paying for the other stuff on All Access, even though some people say there's some good stuff on there. So, take advantage of it. But that's not going to keep most people paying to see this show. So I do think that they're going to branch out. There will be focus in other areas, and it'll be interesting to see if they keep that focus primarily centered around Burnham, or if they branch out and start to look at other things. So anyway, you guys, that's my theory talk for Star Trek. Let me know what you think about some of the stuff that we've talked about. Let me know if you think that it's the case that Stamets could be the Traveler. Let me know now if you're like, okay, that's it. I definitely think that Ashe is a Klingon. If you think that's the case, let me know if he is a Klingon. How do you think that's going to play out with him and Burnham? Because they could be building something really real here. This doesn't all have to be deceit on Ashe's part. He could really be falling in love with her. So if that happens, game on. We'll see how that whole thing ends up. So there's a lot of stuff to think about here. You guys can let me know what you think about the aspect of Captain Georgiou and whether or not she's still alive in some way, shape, form, or fashion. I don't know how they do it, but I would like to see her again. So guys, just what do you think about the theories? What are some of your theories? What are some of the things that you are thinking might be happening in Star Trek Discovery that the rest of us are not really picking up on? I'd be interested to know your thoughts on that as well. All right, you guys, listen, one more thing. So before I go, did you guys hear that? So before I go, you guys, I am going to share another poll that I did with you, similar to the one on Twitter, but this one was in a Facebook group where I asked, what characters would you like to see on Star Trek Discovery? And it was interesting because there was an overwhelming character that people mentioned, and I'm saving that because I want to do a whole video around that. But I would ask you that. I think I asked you that in the comments or in another video, and nobody said anything. So if you guys get that question again, who would you like to see in Star Trek Discovery, maybe from some of the other series that you think would be an interesting addition to Star Trek Discovery? All right, you guys, again, please make sure that if you like this, you give it a thumbs up and comment, man. I don't want to just talk to the camera. I'm talking to you, man. Give me some feedback on what we shared, you guys. This is all about building a community around Star Trek Discovery. We're all fans or not. So obviously the things that you would share might not be that friendly. But that's okay. We take all comments, you guys. So please make sure, again, that you do that you comment, that you like it, that you share it, you guys. And if you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so that you can stay on top of things. And with that, I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.